Everybody loves creatures in ARK that made the game a whole lot easier to play, especially when they do things for us without us even having to lift a finger. This video aims to showcase just that. In this video I have compiled a list of 25 creature passives and non-aggressive abilities, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. A tamed oviraptor can boost the drop rate of non-fertilized eggs for all your creatures. It will also speed up mating timers. All you have to do is stick it next to the tames that you want to mate, or creatures you want more non-fertilized eggs from. Weigh it down with something heavy and enable wandering, and an egg icon will appear over your tame creatures that are affected by its ability. They can also help you steal fertilized eggs without aggroing the parents, and the best way to do this is to have it follow you on a low follow distance. Drop your oviraptor, have it follow you over the nest, and it will begin a strange animation of digging at the ground. It will pick up the egg for you and you can flee the wyvern trench in peace, as none of the wild wyverns will aggro to you. Maybe not as useful as it used to be, as there are far more tame creatures that can outrun wyverns these days. The Jabber is one of the most important creatures to tame when playing the Scorched Earth map. They will warn you of incoming weather storms. These storms can be extremely dangerous for survivors stuck out in them, which is why you have to carry a Jabber around with you 24/7. Heroes don't always wear capes. The Jabber will save your life. The dung beetle can passively produce oil and fertilizer over time. Stick it in a cage, make sure you have it on wander. I recommend taming up a Phiomia, feeding it a load of stimberries will make it poop for days. Feed your dung beetle heaps of medium feces and you'll be able to play Farming Simulator in no time. The Dimetrodon and the Otter can be used as portable air conditioners to incubate your fertilized eggs. Their ability to incubate eggs is affected by their melee damage, so if you are looking to use them for this purpose, be sure to tame higher levels, as their melee damage will be higher. In turn, this makes the Otter one of the most vital shoulder pets in the game, as you can put them on your shoulder and wear them like a scarf to keep you extra warm in those super cold places. For every 100% melee damage the Otter gains, it will provide approximately 75 hypothermic insulation and 34 hyperthermic insulation. Who even needs clothes when you have an otter? Which leads us on perfectly to the next tip, which also includes the otter. They can carry more than one of the same artifact in their own inventory, and they are the only creature that can do this in the entire game. Next we have another one of a kind, and that will be the Desmodus. It is the only creature that can fly in caves. This can make artifact caves and looting crates much easier. In some cases bypassing all the threats in the cave, grabbing the artifact and just dipping out of there. A nice passive perk the Desmodus has is that it can regain large portions of its health when automatically consuming blood packs from its inventory. It only does this when it's hungry, but you can slightly speed up hunger by latching onto a service and using the stealth mode. The Achatina can passively produce organic polymer and Achatina paste in their inventory over time, which is a direct substitute for cementing paste, which is one of the most used resources in the game. They will produce 1 paste per minute, capping at 100 in their inventory, which you'll have to take out for them to begin making more. It will produce 1 organic polymer every 60 minutes, which does spoil extremely quickly, so it will take your snail a while to stock up on it. It does however have a 3 times spoil timer for organic polymer. They work the exact same way as a dung beetle. Stick them on wander and throw them in a cage. I'd recommend spaying your snails. You don't really want them to have fun in their cage mating with each other over and over, as no one wants to feed a baby snail sweet veggie cakes, which is the only thing they eat when tamed. Leading us on to our next tip. Gachas are one of my most favourite creatures in the game. They can produce a wide variety of rare resources and top quality loot inside the comfort of your own base, but they are also equipped with a very nice passive ability, where they pick up anything on the floor in front of them. And what we haven't mentioned yet is that the Achatina poops out cementing paste quicker than they produce it in their inventory. Have your Gachas parked in front of your snails and make sure they're fully stocked up on food in their inventories. For example, chuck a load of stone in them as it's cheap and cheerful. When the Achatinas poop, the Gachas will pick it up. They will pretty much eat anything and everything. They will have to get through all that stone before chowing down on your much loved cementing paste. I left them like this for 5 hours, and when I came back I had this much Achatina paste inside their inventory. In combination of taking out the 100 from each of the snails in the cages, you'll find you have that much cementing paste you won't even know what to do with it. I will stick a link in the description of the video and in a pin comment if you are looking for a more in-depth tutorial on how the Gachas work. The Megachelon will passively produce rare flowers and rare mushrooms in its inventory over time. These two ingredients are used in a wide variety of useful recipes. I left this guy sunbathing for a whole day of gameplay, and he produced me heaps of flowers and mushrooms of the rare variety. The Mega Geelong is also equipped with its own oxygen vents. When diving in the deep waters, you'll be able to use the giant turtle without needing a scuba tank to breathe. The Basilosaurus and Tusotuvus can passively produce oil in their inventory. They produce roughly 1 oil every minute. It caps at 20 in the Basilosaurus, and I believe it caps at 70 in the Tusotuvus. It is spoilable and it isn't much, but if you have a few lying around your base and you find yourself hanging around your base for long periods, and remember to take out their inventory so they can make more, you'll find yourself with a decent amount of oil. Once you pet a Lystrosaurus, it will boost all XP gains for nearby creatures by 1.35. Any affected creature by the XP boost will have an icon displayed next to their name. I usually find them the most useful when I have tribe mates leveling up our creatures. Pet the Lystro, someone sits on the creature we want to level up, and the other tribe mates kill off a load of babies. And if you're feeling really ballsy, you can take them out and about with you and level up your creatures that way. I usually just keep them back at base as pets, where they can relax and do backflips all day. Once you tame a Leopleurodon, it will increase the rarity and value of any loot box you open. That is if you can find one. They are one of the most rarest creatures in the game. I'd recommend only running deep sea loot crates or caves that spawn high tier loot crates. I did open a lot of land beacons, I didn't really find anything worth my time. When you move far away from the Leopleurodon, the buff will continue for 6 hours. Be sure not to die, transfer or fast travel because you will lose the effect. There is a lot of speculation out there as to whether they're actually worth it, as of course they are only temporary, but I'd like to point out this is the first time I ever found a Rhyniid Napha saddle in a deep sea loot crate. Maybe the Leopleurodon did give me good fortune, or it just got really lucky. Who knows? Aberration is known to be one of the most difficult maps out there, and the map would not be beatable without Charge Light shoulder pets. The Bulb Dog, Glowtail, Shinehorn, and Featherlight are vital companions to carry around with you when exploring the surface or delving down into the deep, dangerous depths, where the most dangerous threats reside, Nameless and Reapers. Charge Light is the only thing that can weaken these threats, and these shoulder pets are the best source of Charge Light, as you can carry them around with you on your shoulder wherever you go. Creatures with weight reduction. Most of the rare resources you have to go out farming are extremely heavy, but there are a wide variety of creatures that have massive weight reduction, which will help you carry so much more. And here are some of the most popular creatures, just to name a few. Moving on to shoulder pets and their weight reduction. The majority of shoulder pets will give 50% weight reduction for anything inside their inventory while perched on your shoulder. Here we have Test Subject Crossbow and Test Subject Otter. The crossbow only weighs 10 in my own inventory. Once inside the otter and on my shoulder, it now only weighs 5, so it's giving that crossbow 50% weight reduction. And now we have Test Subject Sonoma Crops. This is the only shoulder pet in the game that has 75% weight reduction for anything in their inventory while on your shoulder. Once inside the Sonoma Crops, you can see the crossbow already only weighs 5, and when on my shoulder it only weighs 2.5. It is giving that crossbow 75% weight reduction. These shoulder pets can help you carry so much more gear when out there exploring. The Daedon can heal groups of tame creatures at the cost of draining its own food stat at an accelerated rate. All you have to do is enable passive healing and it will heal your creatures for you. The Maywing is the nurse of the ARK. They act as feeding troughs for nearby babies when nursing mode is enabled. The nursing effectiveness stat can be leveled up to increase the trough range, and each percentage in nursing effectiveness makes food satisfy babies' food stats more by 1%. They have weight reduction for berries and meat, so therefore can carry a lot more of it. They can also pick up to 4 babies and stick them in their pouches. You'll always know the Maywing's got your back and your little ones aren't running off. Oh, look how cute they are in their little pouches. This leads us perfectly on to the next tip, which is going to be the second nurse of the ARK. That will be the Procoptodon. Any baby in a mate boosted female Procoptodon's pouch consumes less food and gets a 2 times imprint bonus. And here we have Test Subject Ferrazino babies. Not all creatures will fit in the pouch. For example, large creatures like the T-Rex probably won't fit in it. The smaller the creature, the longer they can stay in the pouch. From the clip, you can see I get a 3% imprint affinity for the baby not in the pouch, and 6% for the baby in the pouch, so it doubles the amount of imprint bonus. This will give you a nice head start caring for babies during infancy. The Spinosaurus, the Tropical Crystal Wyvern, and the Shadowmane will receive the hydrated buff once they touch or submerge themselves in water, where their movement speed will be increased by 20%, attack damage by 15%, and health regeneration by 25%, making them much stronger battle mounts. The Diabear can harvest giant bee honey from beehives without harming the hive, or aggroing the bees inside. It is done with their secondary attack, the one where they do the slap attack. The hives can be gathered at a 3 times rate. The Diabear is also the only creature that the bees cannot dismantle from the saddle. The Morellatops can be used as a water tank, being able to hold 750 units of water in its humps. The Scorched Earth water sources are scarce, so having yourself a Morellatops that can hold water for you, especially in the early game, can be very beneficial. To refill their water, you can have them stand in it, or can place water skins, jars and canteens in its inventory and refill it that way. The Parasol's radar mode can be useful in many different scenarios. To enable it, all you have to do is access your Parasol and enable turret mode. This gives it the ability to auto-detect enemies and threats in the wild. They will keep you safe and warn you of any danger. Extremely useful in both PvP and PvE. Here is a good showcase of this ability. A wild phoenix will only come out during a heatwave. However, the Parasol can find the phoenix for you before a heatwave even begins. It will be seen as an ash pile, which is very hard to spot. A beginner tame at heart, but still used by many in the endgame. The Basilosaurus is a jack of all trades when it comes to passive abilities while exploring the ocean. A Basilosaurus is able to rapidly regenerate its health when at the ocean's surface. The Basilosaurus is equipped with a unique ability with being immune to all those annoying stuns and shocks that the ocean has to offer. It is immune to the Cnidaria stun, where they don't dismount the rider or damage the Basilosaurus at all, immune to the Electrophorus shock attack, and the Two-Fist grapple attack. With all these abilities combined, it makes the Basilosaurus a perfect tame to take with you in the most dangerous parts of the ocean. Even though they do take health damage when below a certain depth, it is rather minimal. It would only really put lower levels at risk. All of these abilities are why the Basilosaurus is one of my favourite aquatic tames. The Fjordhawk is equipped with a unique ability where upon dying it will retrieve your death cache and will attempt to fly back to where you spawn back in. This can be useful in a wide variety of scenarios. In this clip I stole a wyvern egg, suicided by eating organic poly, respawned back and my Fjordhawk have retrieved all my gear and dropped me my death cache. I recommend having a breeding pair and some backups before trying anything like this, as it doesn't always go to plan and they are very annoying to tame. Nonetheless, the ability is pretty cool. And finally, we are on to number 25. The Andrewsarchus, once saddled, has an array of saddle passives that will keep the rider safe and sound. The rider will never be dismounted by any of those annoying stun creatures like the Palovia or Cnidaria, just to name a few. The Andrewsarchus will get stunned, but the rider will not. And you can just and whip out your minigun and mow them down. I don't play PvP, but I'm pretty certain that the rider cannot be picked by anything. Your survivor will also not lose any oxygen when underwater. The Andrewsarchus does have an oxygen bar, but it does take a long time to go down. The saddle will also protect you from poison atmospheres in caves, and will completely protect you from poison projectiles shot from a basilisk or a poison wyvern. And this is just a small selection of perks that the saddle offers. And that is going to conclude the video also. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful to you all. Please do feel free to like, comment, share and subscribe if you did enjoy the video and it's helpful. It would really help out the channel and I'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.